In problem 10, it says find the area and the perimeter of a rectangular wall that measures 12 feet long and 13 feet wide. Okay, usually I feel like a wall, you would think of it as a height, not a length and a width, but okay. So let's make it 31 here and 12 here. That kind of makes more sense. And these are in feet. Okay. So the area of a rectangle is just the length times the width. Okay, so all we have to do is the area, length, times the width. So in this case, it's 12 feet by 31 feet. So 12 times 31 is 372. And then feet times feet, you end up with feet squared. Okay, so we covered problems like this when we were talking about square units. Right, if we recall what this means, what does it mean to have 372 square feet? It means that if you actually kind of broke this up into, you divided this up, 12, I'm not going to draw 12 lines, but if you actually, broke it up into 12 individual foot-long units here and 31 individual foot-long units here, right, and each of these little boxes is 1 square foot, right, what you end up with is 372 of these little square feet, okay, and that's the area. Now the perimeter is kind of the full distance around. So it's kind of this length plus this length plus this length plus this length. Actually, let me make these two blue and we'll keep those two red. So because this is a rectangle, right, the length here is the same as the length here. So this is also 31 feet. And because it's a rectangle, this length is the same as this length. So this is also 12 feet. So you can add all of these up to get your perimeter, because perimeter is basically, instead of thinking of this as a wall, if you just want to kind of get a general sense of perimeter, right, it's how much, if you had to kind of walk around, let's say it was the floor, if you wanted to kind of walk around the edges, how much walking would you do? So you'd end up doing, right, 31 plus 12 plus another 31 plus 12. So what ends up being is it ends up being 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, right? 2 times 31 plus 2 times 12. But however you want to put that into your calculator, even if you just put in 31 plus 12 plus 31 plus 12, right, that's going to come out to be 86. Or of course, if you wanted to put it in as 2 times 31 plus 2 times 12, you could put that into your calculator. Or you could put it in as 2 times 31 plus 12, however you want to do it. But however you put it in, that should come out to be 86, right, which is kind of the total distance all the way around the rectangle. And the units here are feet, right, not square feet, right? When we did the area, we were doing feet times feet. So a foot times a foot becomes a square foot. But when you're adding things, your units don't change, right? 1 foot plus 1 foot is just 2 feet, right? Just like 1 apple plus another apple is just 2 apples. Or 3, if 3 apples plus 4 apples is 7 apples, right? When you just add things together, your units don't change. So if you go 31 feet, and then you went another 12 feet, and then you went another 31 feet, and you went another 12 feet, you went a total of 86 feet, right? So our units are just kind of just linear feet, right? We're not thinking of an area here, right? A square foot is a measure of area. A foot is a measure of distance, okay? So our units are just 86 feet. Okay, so here's what we found in part A. 372 feet squared was the area, or square feet, and 86 feet was the perimeter. So now we're asked in part B, find the cost of painting such a wall if it costs $3.70 per square foot. So the question is, which of these two pieces of information is pertinent to part B? Well, if we're talking about painting the wall, then we're not talking about like going around the outside. We're actually talking about painting the whole surface of the wall. So we're looking at the area. We're looking at how much two-dimensional space the wall takes up. So that's looking at the area. Another little just kind of hint is that if you're talking per square foot, then we're going to be wanting to use the number that's listed in square feet, not the one that's listed in feet. Okay, so the perimeter is not relevant for figuring out how much it costs to paint the wall, right? How much it costs to paint the wall doesn't really matter. You know, we're not doing an edging. We're actually doing the whole wall. So we're looking at the area. So if we want to calculate how much it costs, there's two ways to do it. So the first way to do it is to think of this almost as a unit conversion problem. That, right, 372 feet squared times dollars per square feet. So if I just do $370, and then on the bottom I have square feet, because remember, per means divide, right? So 3.7, right, $3.7 is kind of an equivalent cost of 1 square foot. Okay, so this is kind of like thinking of it as multiplying by 1. And then when you multiply this like this, what's going to happen is that feet squared are going to cancel, and you're going to be left with just dollars. So what you're going to end up with is 372 times 3.7, or 3.70 if you prefer, and that's going to be in dollars. And that's going to be, let's see, 1,376 and 40 cents to paint the whole wall. Right? Another way of thinking of this multiplication is just each square foot, right? If we actually think of this as kind of dividing it into like a bunch of square feet, right? We know there's 372 little blocks, right? Each of those little blocks is going to cost us $3.70 to paint. So if it's each of them costs $370, and we have to do each of them costs $3.70, and there are 372 of them that we have to do, you have to multiply in order to get your total cost. Another way to do this same part B is to think of it as a proportion problem. So basically, if you think of it as cost per area, okay, equals cost per area. So we know that $3.70 is the number of dollars to do 1 square foot. So we want to set that equal to, we want to know how many dollars it costs to do 372 square feet. So we want to make sure that our units are the same. So here we'll do square feet, right, square feet. So same units on the bottom, same units on the top. So dollars on the bottom and dollars on the top. So since we have the same units on the top, same, right, dollars and dollars, square feet and square feet, we can set up our proportion, and then we can cross multiply. So we can get that 1 times x, so just x, equals 3.70 times 372. Okay, so again, by cross multiplying, we can get this same multiplication. Okay, so kind of 3 different ways to think about this part B and how you're going to think about realizing that these two numbers need to be multiplied. You can either think of it as, you can just kind of logically break it down into individual, square units. You can think of it as a unit conversion, or you can set it up as a proportion, whatever makes the most sense to you.